Have you ever wondered what the very first muscle car was? Who started it all? Pontiac, Dodge, Ford, Plymouth? Some of you will scream Mustang, others will throw your wrench at the screen and shout Charger. But what if I told you the real OG rolled off the line before either one even dreamed of drag strips? Let's rewind to 1964. Picture this. The Beatles are on the radio, gas is cheap, and Pontiac does something absolutely insane. They drop a massive 389 cubic inch V8 into a lightweight Tempest body, and boom, the GTO is born. Some call it the very first true muscle car. But here's where it gets juicy. Was it really the first? Chrysler fans point to the 1960 Chrysler 300F. Ford guys say the 63 Galaxy 427 deserves the crown, and don't even get Mopar maniacs started. I want you to settle this once and for all. Comment below, Team GTO, Team Mopar, or are you a dark horse believer in something older? While you settle your arguments in the comments section, here is my take. You see, back in the 1960s, the automotive industry was in a bit of a rut. Cars were getting bigger, softer, and more focused on comfort than pure, unbridled performance. But there were a bunch of us gearheads out there who craved something different, something with some real muscle under the hood. That's where the Pontiac GTO came in and completely shook up the status quo. When Pontiac took their mid-size Tempest model and stuffed it with a honking 389 cubic inch V8, they created a monster. I mean, this thing had over 300 horsepower, unheard of for a normal production car back then. And the styling? Aggressive as all get out, with a mean-looking front end and a stance that just dared you to race it. The GTO wasn't just some flash in the pan either. It kicked off an entire era of muscle car madness, with every automaker trying to one-up each other with bigger engines, wilder designs, and more performance than you'd ever need on the street. But you know what? We ate it up. We craved that rush of power, that feeling of 400 horses underneath you, just begging to be unleashed. I'll never forget when my buddy Dave brought his freshly restored 64 GTO over for a little, spirited driving. That day we must have hit every back road within 50 miles, pushing that V8 to its absolute limits. And let me tell you, it was an experience I'll never forget. The GTO didn't just redefine what a performance car could be, it redefined the very idea of automotive excitement. Under the hood of that mean-looking Pontiac was a real beast of an engine, the legendary 389 cubic inch V8. Now I know cubic inches might not mean much to the average person, but trust me, this thing was a monster. We're talking over 300 horsepower with more than 400 pound-feet of torque on tap. That kind of power was just unheard of in a normal production car back in the day. Most vehicles were lucky to crack 200 horses, but the GTO was packing enough punch to leave just about anything else on the road in the dust. I mean, we're talking 0 to 60 miles per hour times under 7 seconds, which was supercar territory in 1964. And the sound this thing made? Oh, it was music to any gearhead's ears. That deep, rumbling exhaust note just sent shivers down your spine. You'd be cruising along, minding your own business, and then bam, someone would give the GTO's throttle a good stomp, and the whole neighborhood would know it. It was the automotive equivalent of a muscle-bound boxer flexing his biceps. The best part was, you didn't have to be some grizzled, experienced hot rodder to enjoy the GTO's performance. Heck, even a teenager with a few bucks to spare could get behind the wheel and feel like the king of the road. That's what made the GTO so revolutionary. It put genuine, white-knuckle performance within reach of the average guy. And let me tell you, we ate that up. In those days, the automotive world was dominated by these big, boring family sedans. You know, the kind of cars your grandparents would drive. But the GTO? Oh man, this thing was the complete opposite. It was low, it was lean, it was mean as all get out. And let me tell you, when that beast rolled up, it just screamed rebel from every angle. The styling was aggressive, with a long, sloping hood and a wide, muscular stance that dared you to try and keep up. And that iconic split grille? It was like the GTO was giving the establishment a big old middle finger. This wasn't your parents' car. This was a machine built for the young, the restless, the ones who weren't afraid to break the rules. You know, I can just imagine some clean-cut kid in a white shirt and tie seeing a GTO cruising down the street and thinking, Whoa, what is that thing? It was the automotive equivalent of a leather-clad rebel without a cause, and it became a symbol of the youth counterculture movement almost overnight. Suddenly, muscle cars weren't just about raw power. They were about sticking it to the man and living life on your own terms. However, many call the GTO the first true muscle car, but not everyone agrees. For some reason, some people believe the Oldsmobile Rocket 88 is the first muscle car. Gather round because I'm about to settle this once and for all. Which was the true first muscle car, the Oldsmobile Rocket 88 or the Pontiac GTO? Now, the Rocket 88 camp has a pretty compelling argument. Back in the late 1940s, the gearheads over at Oldsmobile had this crazy idea. What if we took our biggest, baddest engine, the 303 cubic inch straight 8, and shoved it into our lightweight old 76 body? Sounds wild, right? But that's exactly what they did. And the result was nothing short of revolutionary. Suddenly, you had this sleek, nimble coupe packing a ridiculous amount of muscle under the hood. I'm talking 135 horsepower, which was just insane for the time. This thing could blast from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 12 seconds, leaving most other cars in the dust. But is the production year the main reason it is seen as the first? I am sure the argument is done by now and your opinions are valid. And you know what? That rebellious spirit is something that still resonates with car enthusiasts to this day. There's just something about the GTO's aggressive styling, its thundering exhaust note, and its ability to put the hurt on just about anything else on the road that captures the imagination. It's a car that embodies the freedom and thrill of the open road, and it paved the way for an entire generation of muscle cars that followed in its footsteps. And the Oldsmobile is not left out. I mean, as far back as 1940, this car has the biggest and baddest engine. Anyone who could lay their hands on this monster back then is considered a top shot in the muscle car community. Now, some people argue the 1960 Chrysler 300F was the first muscle car. But let's be real, it doesn't quite fit the definition. Muscle cars were about affordable, mid-size cars packed with big performance. The 300F, while powerful and stylish, was more of a luxury performance car with a hefty price tag, not a street-friendly muscle machine. It was impressive, sure, but it didn't spark the true muscle car movement like the GTO or Oldsmobile did. Here is a trivial question, and here's where you come in. I don't just want you to pick a side, I want to know why. If you believe the GTO deserves the title, tell me what makes it stand out for you. Was it its powerful V8 engine, its groundbreaking influence in the 1960s? Or the way it redefined American performance cars? Or maybe you're Team Oldsmobile, and you feel the Oldsmobile had the perfect balance of speed, style, and muscle. Maybe you think it set the stage before the GTO ever did. Which car do you believe was the very first true muscle car, the Pontiac GTO or the Oldsmobile? And what makes your choice the best? So what do you think? Does the Pontiac GTO still hold a special place in your heart? Do you still consider it as the first muscle car ever made? Or are you sticking with the Oldsmobile? Are you a die-hard muscle car fan, or do you prefer the more refined sports cars of today? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this look back at the birth of the muscle car, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future automotive adventures.